I'm raising my children, Andrew and Chloe, my son's 11, my daughter's 9, to have the immigrant edge. But if you've never had it, then you have to hear it from someone like me or Gary Vaynerchuk, Arnold Schwarzenegger. And if you haven't heard those stories, then you don't realize what it is to be an immigrant, to properly value all the greatness this amazing country of ours has. I started off as a personal trainer some 20 years ago. The only thing I remember from the American Council on Exercise certification manual was tell, show, do. When you get a new client who doesn't know a particular exercise, you tell them how to do it, you show them how to do it, and then you ask them to do it. And so I do that with my kids. If I just told them that they need to be grounded and just remember that there's people who have far less than them. Well, in theory, someone out there has less than them, but they haven't met them. So we have 67 kids that we've adopted through Compassion International. Those little kids write letters to us. My kids write letters to them, and they get to see the pictures of where they live. And it's not the streets of Chino Hills where we live. It's in mud huts and stuff like that. We've been supporting Shriners Children's Hospital for over a decade. We'll go and we'll tour the hospitals. They get to see these little kids who have severe medical issues, whose families can't afford their medical services. My son, I'm teaching him to become a modern day knight. Again, this might be very politically incorrect in this era, but a modern day knight. You're gonna open doors for ladies and for your mom and for your sister today. Both my son and daughter were working here at my headquarters, stocking our refrigerators with soda and water and Fit Aid and all this stuff. I teach them the attention to detail. The Immigrant Edge comes into the attention to detail. Every single label on the Zevia cans are identical, facing the same way. My son and I will take a monthly boys trip and we'll go to Big Bear Lake or Lake Tahoe or somewhere, and we'll just have he and me time where we're not flying first class somewhere. We drove our car. My daughter and I go on a weekly date, and I open the door for her and we hold hands, and she knows that if a boy who's a friend, when she's older, doesn't open a door for her, that she just turns right back around and comes right back to daddy, or she just calls daddy and I come and pick her up from anywhere. They get Christmas gifts from my side of the family, my wife's side of the family, but they can keep one Christmas gift and the rest we donate to Toys for Tots. These are all the things we do to keep them grounded. Certainly we fly first class, and we went to Scotland last summer. We rented an entire wing of the hotel, but then I stop and go, hey guys, you know why this is happening, right? Mom and dad work so hard, are always in service of people, and when you're in service of people, you make money and you can afford this. But then we come back and we donate and write to little children who have less than us, etc. So we show them both sides of the coin, and I hope that this gives them the immigrant edge. And I believe it does, because my son last year goes, hey dad, a little Korean kid came to our school, he doesn't speak English, and I thought of your story, and I befriended him on day one, and I didn't play basketball with my friends for a whole week and hung out with him instead. And dude, I broke down in tears, because imagine if someone had befriended me on day one when I came to this country in 1980. I love what my mom and dad did for bringing us to this country, but then people go, well, how did you decide how you're gonna raise your kids that way? I go, well, they brought me to this country, there was a roof over my head and food in my stomach, but other than that, I didn't experience much. My kids were less than 1 when they were already on a plane traveling this country, and then each of them had already gone international before the age of 5. I do the opposite of what my parents did, and sometimes that's all you gotta do, and it works.